The stove lights a lot faster than my last stove. Just turn the knob and it lights almost instantly. There's 5 burners. The instructions say that this burner is for fast boiling. The back burner is for sauces and small pans. The 2 burners on the left are for everyday cooking. And the burner in the middle is for even heat on large pans. And there's an included griddle that goes over that burner. It came with a griddle that has grooves to lock onto the stove for stovetop grilling or frying. The griddle is non-stick coated. There's a storage drawer at the bottom. It's a little shallow, but it is nice. It's got roller bearings and a guest. It works really smooth. The oven is enamel coated, very classy and blue. You can see the little convection fan in the back. Comes with 3 racks. It's a larger capacity than you would expect from a 30-inch range. I measured 19.5 by 19.5 by 24.5 wide. The oven light is very bright. Makes it easy to see the food cooking without having to open the door. It's operated with just a touch of the touch screen here. Turns it on and off. Oven control is all through this knob here. You can set it to bake, broil, roast, and also convection, bake, broil, roast. There's a warm setting, and there's a proof setting, which is for the rising of yeast on doughs and breads. There's also a setting for the remote start, which is once you set the machine to work with your Wi-Fi, you can put it on remote start and then use your mobile device to stop the oven. So you can set the oven to bake. For example, push start time over here and say you can go up to, I believe it's 12 hours, because there is no AM PM in this clock. So say we're going to start the oven at 8 o'clock. So we'll go to 8 o'clock. You'll see how difficult this timer is to work, and we'll cover that in a moment. So it's going to start at 8 o'clock, and we'll push cook time for how long we want it to cook. Say we want it to go for 30 minutes, and then push start. At 8 o'clock the oven will come on at 350 degrees and bake for 30 minutes. Setting the timer is one of the reasons that I think this, probably the only reason the stove doesn't get 5 stars. And the timer's a little difficult to set in that it goes too fast. You'll see what I mean. You push timer and say I want to cook for 13 minutes if I'm boiling pasta. So you can push very distinct 13. You can't go 13 times. It doesn't work. You have to push 13 or hold, and then it goes very fast. So you have to lift off at just the right moment at 10, 11, 12, 13, and you must remember to push start. It won't automatically start counting down. Once the timer hits 0, it plays a nice little jingle. It's not very loud. I wish there was a programming function that you could adjust the volume for the buzzer, the little jingle, but it does what it does. If you have the range hooked up to Wi-Fi, it will send a message to your phone to tell you that the timer is going off, which has been the only way that I can hear in the other room that the timer is done. So here you'll be able to hear the loudness and the jingle that it plays when the timer goes off. You also heard my phone ding as it sent a little text message saying Really nice feature is that this cooktop is easy to clean and that any of the exposed surfaces are all removable for cleaning. So if there was a spill, the oven racks come off in 3 separate pieces. You can soak these in the sink. The instructions did not say anything about these being machine washable. There are 3 separate pieces. And the individual burners, the burner cap comes off, and then the burner surround comes off and can be soaked in the sink. And then what you're left with is a stainless steel surface and the igniter pin for cleaning. That makes cleanup of spills a lot easier to handle. Once these are clean, you have to shake the water off so that there's no water clogging these little passageways for the natural gas. And you slide it back over the top of the igniter, make sure the cap is back on, and you're ready to go. The only one that doesn't come apart that far is the large center one. The cap doesn't come off of the burner, but the entire thing does slide off of the range, so you can soak it in the sink and scrub it. So you're supposed to adjust the burners. You'll start with a high burn like this and quickly go to minimum burn. And the burner is not supposed to go out. If it does go out, you simply take the knob off, and you have to have a very tiny screwdriver into this hole here under the knob, and you just twist it to turn up the flame a little bit, and then repeat the process to see if from maximum to minimum the fire goes out. This range came set pretty good for our altitude. I only had to adjust one burner a tiny bit and it still works. We'll turn on the convection bake by setting the knob to convection bake. Set a temperature. We'll go 375 and hit start. You can hear a set of relays click real quick, and it's not very loud. This is the exhaust for the convection, and the intake is over here. I haven't noticed anything get very hot in front of it. If there's a pot here that's not on, it doesn't heat up the pot ridiculously. I wouldn't block the vents, but this is the LG SmartThink app. You can have all of your LG SmartThink equipped appliances run off of the same app. The only one that I have is the oven, so this tells you the current status of the oven. The cooktop and oven are both off. So we will click on the oven, and it tells you the settings are here. Right now the default is bake 350 and 0 hours and 1 minute. So we will click on mode and change bake to convection bake. Temperature, we can scroll up or down to change this to 300 degrees. The time, include preheat or don't include preheat. And we'll set the time for 15 minutes including preheating, and we will send it. You can hear the oven fire up. It is currently preheating and the timer is counting down. The app is reading the estimated time cooking and the remaining time. It hasn't updated with the remaining time yet. But once the oven reaches preheating or reaches the temperature, it will list the remaining.